Hello and welcome to another Pre-Chiro podcast. Today we're making a chiropractic student connection out in Texas with soon-to-be Dr. Carmell Phipps. Dr. Carmell, can you kind of just introduce yourself and share a little bit about what your background was and what attracted you to becoming a chiropractor?
Of course. So I don't have like this miraculous why, right? Like a lot of the times you hear people that have gone through like really traumatic injuries or just really crazy experiences and that led them to chiropractic school and stuff like that. I'm here for the people that are like, still trying to figure it out. My grandma's actually a chiropractor, so I grew up with chiropractic in my life. Um, and I felt like just being coming from that background, like it was kind of pushed on me to go to chiropractic school. And being the black sheep of the family, I was like, no, I'm not going to do it because you said I should do it. So I went through undergrad just trying to like figure out life and everything. I went to UTSA, go Runners. And my major was medical humanities. I got attracted to it because it was something different. I love the body. I love learning about the body because there's so many things that are just going on and so many things that we can't explain. So that to me is like miraculous in itself. But the major was basically a mix between the science, philosophy, and art of medicine. Crazy like intro. So I'm going through undergrad and I get to my senior year and I'm like, I still don't really know what I want to do. I know I don't want to work for anybody. I know that I want to help people. My grandma's a chiropractor. Let me like try it out. So I applied to Parker on a whim. And whenever I got to Dallas, we had like this gap between August or between like May is when I graduated undergrad to like September when Parker started. So I had this like good amount of time to sit with myself. And I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing right now, just like meditating, praying, however it resonates with you. But I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing right now. Guide my steps. And so when I got to school and everything, it just seemed it wasn't easy. Chiropractic school is definitely not easy, but doors were opening and it felt right to be there. So I thought that was really beautiful. I love the school, I love the program, and I'm thankful to be on this path. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Where are you at in the program right now? And if you could look back at some of the things you did in undergrad and college, how did your experience in college really help shape you to be ready for this person that you're becoming today?
Yeah. I'm try 6 out of 10 trimesters at Parker. And if I can go back and like I guess prepare better for chiropractic school, I would say I would have done more research on the schools that were out there. I kind of saw Parker and TCC, and I'm from Houston, so I didn't really want to go back to Houston, and that was my determining factor of like whether I was going to Parker or TCC. Um, but I definitely would have looked into like Cleveland or Life, Palmer, yeah, just other schools to see what they have out there. Um, Very blessed to end up at Parker because I feel like whenever I joined, they were they were very good at presenting all sides of chiropractic and letting the students decide like which path they want to follow or like, what approach they want to take. I only can speak on Parker's experience. I don't know how the other schools are out there, but I would have again like taken more time to see what was out there and see what other schools have.
Getting back to my focus on like the high school or college version of you, can you
Mhm.
look at like what you were up to in high school, what you were doing in college that really shaped and prepared you for who you are today?
Yeah. Um, I definitely did a lot of extracurriculars. I think it's good to start networking with people now if you want to be a business owner. It's good to create that strong base. So I feel like if I were to go back home to Houston, I would have a good community, a good support system because I was networking, and that's not necessarily like going out and with a suit and tie and a business card and like, oh, here's my card, hit me up in 8 years, and I got you. It's more of just being genuine and authentic in the community and laying a good foundation and uh, a good, I guess, image of yourself to those people. They know who you are, and they're gonna like be more likely to refer for other people to come and see you because they know that they just know who you are at your core. So I think that's really important. Definitely studying and seeing what's out there. So I would say start shadowing. I never really had a whole bunch of internships or shadowing opportunities, but I definitely went out just to see what there was. Um, but don't feel rushed. You have a lot of time to see what you like and you don't like. So don't feel pressure to like get everything done at once if it's going to stress you out. Um, the beauty about chiropractic school is that it finds you when it finds you. Some people join the program fresh out of undergrad. Some people join like in their 40s. So it's like whenever that calling hits you, you can just run to it. There's no pressure. So I really appreciate it.
Got you. What were some of like the biggest challenges or struggles that you had, either when you entered chiropractic school or what you're going through today, or when you were in undergrad or high school? Like what are some of these things that have created adversity that you've had to deal with personally?
Ooh, okay, so in undergrad, I think the fear of expectations was crazy because you don't know what to expect, so you expect the worst. And I feel like it deters people a lot from just going out there, getting it, seeing what it is, and exploring what school has to offer. Not a lot of people know about chiropractic school, so like me, I was relating it to medical school, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get into school, I'm gonna have like breakdown, like I'm just gonna snap, it's gonna be so much, like thinking the worst. And it wasn't until like I got into the program or like I was brave enough to take those steps to continue in the program that I was like, okay, I'm here. Like I'm here and that's enough, you know? My biggest challenge when first starting was again those expectations and keeping a balance in school. I think it's hard because a lot of people have this pressure to perform, right? Like we have families, we have people that are looking up to us. We also want to prove to ourselves and our classmates that like we're the best around, like, and we'll do anything to like get that stamp of approval from these other people. But if you not like give yourself grace, if you cannot like really appreciate yourself for being where you're at, I feel like I've seen people crumble because of pressure. So all that to say, creating a balance of like, oh, I can work hard, but I'm also gonna play hard. Like school is very important, but you have to create a social life. I try to like do all my studying at school and get everything done at school. That way, when I come home, I'm in a space of like peace and ease. If I need to study, I can, but studying at home isn't like a super pressure heavy thing. It's more of like, oh, I really wanted to learn more about this topic. Like, I'm gonna deep dive into it. I'm gonna go down the nerd hole and like I don't know, just study for fun because it's important to create a space of peace when you should be resting. You don't want to like be super caught up in school and stress and pressure in your bed. Like that's your area to relax. Um, and then my biggest challenge now, ooh, I would say sometimes it's hard to keep the motivation. I love what I do. I love adjusting in class and stuff. But sometimes it just gets to be a lot. Like I'm in Tri Six. I just took boards and we only have 2 week breaks. So I've been going through this program back to back to back nonstop. We're basically taking around 30 hours each trimester. You're on a fast pace with a lot of like material dense courses, and you're expected to keep going, keep going, keep going, and you're never really taught like how to really refill yourself or like recharge yourself during those breaks. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, just keeping that motivation to move forward sometimes gets hard, but um, I call it productive procrastination seminars. Like it keeps you in your why. Mission trips are cool, and also like going to anything that the school hosts, because it's still like even if it's like a seminar, we had like an Achilles tendon study. I thought that was really cool. It's a way to take my mind off of school without like just completely disassociating from school. Like I'm still being productive at these events, but it's just in a different way. So
Mhm.
that's how I try to stay motivated. Yeah.
Mhm. Can we talk about like your vision and the impact that you could potentially have on the people that matter most to you and just the community that I guess you grew up in, if you could reflect on, was there a presence of chiropractic? Was there any awareness amongst you or your friends that chiropractic was even a thing? I know you said you got to college and your grandma was a chiropractor, so you thought about it, but just
Mhm.
being real, like where is the presence and awareness at, whether it be amongst your pre-med students and that medical humanities major, and just also you going back out into the world now being a chiropractor, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So growing up, I know that I had that personal presence, but like in the community, there was none, like at all. I never heard people talking about it. And like my family's background is like we moved from California to Texas, Signs of Mind slash like non-denominational Christian, and then chiropractic and like vegetarians. So like you're in Texas. If that's like your baseline in Texas, you're weird. Okay, so I'm not bringing up chiropractic to all my friends and like, oh, my grandma has this thing that's like it activates me and it changes my body. No, no, you're already getting made fun of because you got tofu sandwiches. So we're just not gonna bring it up. But I don't know. I think it was hard because you want to express something that's so like amazing and life changing, but you're scared that people are going to reject it and then like ostracize you for it. I also grew up in like Pearland, Texas. So now we have like medical centers and everything like that. But basically, everyone from the main medical center in Houston would commute and live in my area. So it was a lot of like MDs, dentists, orthos, RNs. So people that weren't really like worried about chiropractic. Um, in college, it was kind of hard too because it's the same thing. No one is really putting chiropractic on the pedestal that I think it deserves. We had a lot of medical clubs, not a one chiropractic club. Um, Even in like the joint medical associations, there wasn't like a chiropractic branch. So just had to get in where I fit in. I knew that again, I wanted to help the body, I wanted to help patients and stuff like that. So I was like, I'll just make it work, I guess. Like, I'll take the information in as I see necessary. So I think that's also like really big with chiropractic. There's a lot to get lost in. Take what resonates with you, and then the rest have an open mind with.
Hmm. What's resonating with you? What are some directions that you've personally gone in that you're passionate about or that you are developing within yourself so that you could be ready to express that in the real world after school?
Yeah. Um, the things that resonate with me, of course, having like the background that I have, um, I just love that it's the power that made the body heals the body, right? That to me is miraculous. It's beautiful. Um, and the fact that you can help people with your hands, like at any given moment, I can, assist someone that's in need. And I think that is like to its core very beautiful, like that human connection. And then the product of healing from a human connection is just like amazing. Um, so yeah, I really resonate with how chiropractic or like how I've learned to know that chiropractic is an art form and how everything in chiropractic is like up to doctor's discretion. Mind you, you have like, your outliers, people that are like super just, I don't know, crazy with their intentions or whatever. But the beauty of this profession is that everyone has their own signature on like what chiropractic is and what it means to them. And they can like express it in however way they want to, which I mean, people are like fighting for consistency and stuff. And yes, I understand that. But the patients that I have aren't going to be the same patients that you have. Like it allows everyone to find someone that works for them. And so I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What kinds of experience have you had so far? You said you went on a mission trip. Do you
Yeah.
know which community you're going to go back and serve? Do you know what sort of opportunities exist for you after school? Do you have any idea about that?
Yes. Okay. So when I first started, I had this really big dream of going into Formula One racing and being a doctor, like a traveling doctor with the Formula One team. I still think it's a possibility. I think it's still out there. I think it'd be really cool. But I really want to open up free clinics in my father's hometown of Natchez, Mississippi, because it's the same thing like, not enough exposure in that area. So or really anywhere. So I want to open up free clinics there, but also like, just start like a free clinic franchise type of thing. I don't know the logistics behind it, but I feel like I will get it done. So that will be fun. Um, and yeah, I really just want to continue to travel, serve people, and express like how powerful chiropractic can be. Haiti was bread and butter. It was so beautiful. It was so nice to be in that country and just be able to help people. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Got you. So, what's going to be the energetic exchange for a free clinic? Because I
Mhm.
hear you, but it's like logistically, how does that look in your mind
Yeah.
after you get to the point where you've exposed hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, to the power of chiropractic? Like,
Mhm.
what are you asking of them? Are you asking them to create testimonials and share their experiences? Or you turning this into a nonprofit that actually does get funded so you are paid for the services you provide? Or are you thinking of literally just saying, hey, free chiropractic over here, and just showing up at events that there's no chiropractors at and just having a table and adjusting people? I'm curious.
So one of my like hardships has been putting value to the care I provide because growing up wasn't easy. So I recognize that there's that need for medical attention or just like healthcare that some people cannot like or that some people can't pay for. So it really like that's that's what pulls at my heartstrings because I don't want anyone to miss out on this opportunity because they can't afford it. But I've come to know that some practitioners are like they just make it very affordable. Like I know some docs that do like high volume, they charge like $30 per patient and they're opening like their third clinic. So I understand like putting value towards things, but I think it would just make me feel good to provide that free service. So I think definitely pop-ups, like if I do patient screenings or something like that, and I'm like, why not? Like I'm in the community, like let's just get it. Like it costs me nothing to provide this free service right now. So like that's cool to me. Um, I was definitely thinking about having the clinic be a nonprofit because if I were to open up multiple clinics, I wouldn't be able to be there all the time. So maybe if someone is practicing in that area or I don't know, maybe like an hour or two from that area, I can invite them to drive down, have the nonprofit be funded by the government, pay them respectably, and then it be like a weekend thing in the clinic. We'll make it work. We'll figure out logistics.
Just in regards to logistics, I would recommend that you do it in a church or in a food kitchen or somewhere where you don't have overhead. You don't have to pay for
Yeah.
to rent the space. And I imagine you're not going to be X-raying everybody that comes in. You're not going to be using expensive diagnostic
Mhm.
equipment. So you're not going to really need to invest in rental space where you get to use it how you want to use it. It sounds like you're just going to roll up with your table and start serving people like every Sunday, and it just becomes a regular thing, and people know that you're coming and they look forward to it, and there's sign-ups, and people from that shelter or people from that community's church know that you're going to be there, so they start to depend on that Sunday to really come home to their body, not just to church.
Yeah, I think that'd be beautiful. That'd be really cool.
Okay. Okay. Cool. And then just as we wrap up, any specific messages that you would love to share with maybe that high school version of yourself? Maybe you wouldn't have listened back then, but I'm just curious what you would say if they were in front of you just saying like chiropractic, really? You think I should go that direction? Why?
Mhm. Um, I would tell myself that it ends up being a journey that's greater than what you think it is. Um, chiropractic is it's a lot. Like whenever you get into school, you're tested on a lot of things. Like your mental fortitude, of course, is tested with like all the academics and stuff like that. But then you get into what makes me a great person for this patient? How do I know that I can help this person? And you do like a lot of self reflection while you're in school, which I didn't know I needed because sometimes you're in the dark about these things and you're like, oh, I'm good. Like, if I'm living good, that means like my soul's right. I'm clear. But like, just the simple, am I adjusting to perform in class or am I adjusting to like really help this person? That's like an ego check in itself because sometimes you can do what you need to do to make the bones crack, but are you really like serving the patient and giving them what they need in that moment, you know? So I feel like that was a very big like ego check for me. Um I like to apply like a lot of love into my chiropractic work. So that starts with self love, right? Like you can't give love to people properly if you're not loving yourself. And so that's again a very like out of chiropractic experience that I didn't know I was gonna have when I came to chiropractic school, but now it's like happening. So it's like it's beautiful. It's a journey. I would also tell myself to not give up on anything. Um, I knew I was strong in high school, but I never knew I was like this strong. Like being in this program, having life happen, and still having to like continue in the program and still continuing to like show up every day for myself and for school and for my future patients like while like life is happening, it's crazy. So and I would also tell myself that I'm proud of myself. I i was doing a lot in high school and I was not giving myself enough credit for what I was doing. So I would definitely say take a breath and really focus on where you've come and the path that you have ahead of you. Like, yeah.
And if you were writing a book about yourself, how would you describe who you were in high school and college? Like, did you go to a HBCU in undergrad?
No, I went to it's a HSI, Hispanic Serving Institution. I started at Houston Baptist University, and I was like, "This is, ooh, let me not slander any schools on here." But it just wasn't for me. Yeah, it wasn't for me. So I ended up going to UTSA. Um, and yeah,
Got you. Were you in a sorority?
yes, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
How was that? How was that for you? Do you think that that was beneficial for you to get to this place?
Yeah, of course. I feel like that also played a role in just my strength. It's not easy to be a Delta. Well, it's not, yeah, it's not easy to be a Delta. And it just kind of like all your life lessons and all these challenges that you're put in help you to create that like that sense of, oh, I did it before, I can do it again. Or like I know that this isn't a closed door for me, it's a challenge. Like I know that I can move past whatever is happening right now. So I think that definitely helped. And also like networking, that was a big part of networking as well. There's a very like abundant presence of my sorority sisters in Dallas. So that's really cool. One of my chiropractors had an event with them talking about chiropractic to that community. So that was really interesting. And I love that because Delta chiropractic coming together, like, yes, that's literally me. So that was really cool. And you never know like who holds seats in certain positions. Um, Even though some people aren't in the same sorority as me, like they're still like, oh, we're in the same council. Like, so like I'm gonna look out for you. Or like you're on my radar because we're on the same council. Like we have common ground somewhere. So like now I remember you a little bit more. But yeah.
Do you think that there could be an introduction of chiropractic into the Delta culture just by your influence in the future, where you're maybe speaking about chiropractic to the Delta community on a regular basis, or that you're maybe starting up a pre-chiro club through a student in that sorority who's passionate about healthcare, doesn't know which direction they want to go, and you're giving them an opportunity to step out of their comfort zone, which is, I think, the whole purpose of these groups, right? Is you join a sorority just to grow yourself, to find sisterhood, but also to grow yourself within a community that's really pushing you to grow. Yeah?
Um, so I would definitely have, like dinner with the dog, talks and stuff like that. I would try to do a lot of, I guess, just like initiatives where I'm coming out and talking to people, talking to the community. One of our principles is health, like mental and physical health. So, like, I would definitely not feel out of place asking to like step into that realm and like advocate for chiropractic in that area, because you always got to know who you're like talking to, who your audience is. Um, and because chiropractic fits into that like principle, I would be able to like seg in there and be like an advocate through, um, I guess, that route. So I would definitely try that
All right, well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to share with. I hope that I can put some of these messages into the forefront of a high school or a college student or even somebody transitioning careers. And
out.
they just want to, like, maybe they look like you, or maybe they share a similar background. Maybe they grew up in Houston. Maybe they're in that Delta sorority. These are the ways that I think that we need to represent people that come from all these. I mean, I'm not trying to label you, but just being a black woman from a sorority, grew up in Houston, there's all these things about who you are that I don't believe is represented enough on behalf of chiropractic. So I'm just really grateful that you came on here and just represented not only just you being amazing in chiropractic school and you being an example of somebody who's like going on mission trips and has a vision to open up free clinics in the future and like really serve your community at a high level, but also just like, I mean, if we're being real about it, how many people share your background in your school right now? It's
Yeah.
probably less than 1%, right?
Yeah.
And so
It's
we're
very
not going to ever change that until we have these conversations. We take me out the picture, we put you in the forefront. You're speaking right into the soul of somebody, that needs to hear this message.
yeah. Oh, well, I appreciate it. And thank you for allowing me to present that. It was very nice.
No doubt.